Okay, good. Um, Now you have already clarified in chat that you're taking like a pro-choice, pro-circumstance chat. So you think that under certain circumstances, abortion is a justifiable act from a moral standpoint, right?
Yeah.
You already know my stance, so we don't need to go over this anymore. So would you like to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I mean, I can explain the situations to where I think that it's like morally permissible, and then we can go from there.
Okay, lay out the situations for me, please.
All right. So situation one is where you have access to like condoms and like things like that, to which can prevent you from possibly having a baby. Yet you ignore uh this availability, and you decide to have sex anyways without it, and then you end up with the baby, knowing the knowing the outcomes that could have happened, right? And
Wait,
then
hold on there a second. Wait, could I stop you for a second? So,
yeah,
you realize you're taking like pro-choice or pro-circumstance, right?
uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Continue with your argument because I find it a bit odd. I think it's maybe supporting my point, but I'm gonna allow you to continue.
Yeah, but then there's something that ties in within that. If let's just say that person who decides to have like unprotected sex also like could possibly like die, or she can feel like immense pain with that baby, even though she like decided to have unprotected sex, even though she had basically the availability to go get protection. I think that it's like safe to say that she should be able to have it.
Okay, okay, I'll just stop you right there. So, firstly, right, yeah, sure, condoms are used for sexual protection and to decrease the likelihood of there being any form of impregnation. However, right, both partners, while engaging in sex and using condom, does accept the possibility that the condom can in fact burst and there can be some impregnation afterwards, right? So simply saying that okay, they use condom and unfortunately, um, they still the partner still had the baby, right? Does not really justify why they should abort the baby later on because that's a matter. They already know they're already responsible for this action. They already had like before they even had sex, they already accepted that this could justify anything, right? They would simply have to not encompass, no. They would simply I'm trying to find the right word. They would simply have they would simply have to take responsibility for whatever failure which they've already accepted to potentially happen when they had sex. So that's not a matter. The baby has nothing to do with this. Like literally nothing. The baby did not was not the cause for its own existence. They were the cause. They should have the responsibility for the baby. This does not justify killing a fucking fetus or baby. I'm not being toxic towards you anyway. I'm just emphasizing my point, by the way.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, but I think that they don't necessarily have to take responsibility for it, especially if they were trying to take all the necessary precautions to not have a baby. If the condom does break, and let's just say the woman does get impregnated, I think it's morally permissible to say that she should be able to
Oh,
have an
okay.
abortion,
Okay,
especially
so I
under.
find an issue with the argument, Quinn. So,
Hold up.
firstly, you laid like 2 points, right? One of these points were a reiteration of your first point, which I think is a bit circular. But let's respond to your first point. Your first point is that they don't need to take responsibility. Sure, um, there are like we generally don't need to take responsibility for whatever actions we do. However, this does not justify the fact that we should not take responsibility, right? There's so many like black dudes who like literally like walked out on their child, right? And like literally they should take responsibility as the father, right? They accepted that their partner was had a baby, right? But after a while they just somehow just ditched their child on the and the mother and just like head out, right? Because they in this case, right, they don't need to take responsibility. They don't have to take responsibility for the baby, but it's better and it's more justified for them to take responsibility, and it's deemed, generally speaking, to be wrong to not take responsibility for the baby. So simply asserting that they don't need to take responsibility does not in any way prove what's permissible. Now to your second point, right? This is not a shotgun, by the way, because you actually made 2 points. The second point you laid out to me is that we what you said what you said again? Oh yeah, you said that you reiterated your first point by simply affirming that wait, I'm a bit distracted. This is the first time I'm ever actually taken so long to think of a point. Oh yeah, you said to me that you repeat your point by saying that abortion is justifiable because if the condom was to fail, right? Despite the fact that they use a condom, they would have a good reason to kill the baby. I already responded to this in the first part of this debate by simply saying to you that listen, heading into this into their intercourse or whatever, right? They've already accepted that it's possible for the condom to fail. So they've already accepted that whatever or if this situation was to occur, right, they would have to take responsibility because again, the baby is not the cause for its birth. They are the cause. They caused the baby to exist. So they would have to, or it's more justified for them to take responsibility.
Did he not? Did like he ever say why the fuck he just keeps on cutting out?
Wait, my bad. I just cut out for a second because I'm on a different voice activity. But I was gonna say to you that again, the other point you listed out was just that because the condom failed and they actually were trying to protect or prevent any form of impregnation, then that would mean that if this was to occur or if the condom was to fail, hypothetically speaking, it would justify the moral permissibility for them to actually kill the baby. And I'm telling you that listen, the baby actually existing is not because of them. It's not their fault. It's because of the partners who engage in sex, right? It's not their fault, right? So they have no responsibility over this, and it does not in any way give any form of justificatory weight towards killing the baby because they have responsibility for the baby existing because it's their fault. They're the cause for this, right? The baby has nothing to do with this. It's like a matter of it's like this, for example. Let me put it in this way, right? It's like killing a child. It's like, for example, let's say, for example, you were to kill my child, right? And then I retaliated by killing your child. Your child has nothing to do with the murder of my child. You had something to do with the murder of my child. Some people may call it revenge, but this is just unjustified immoral revenge. Your child has nothing to do with it, right? You have something to do with it. So me killing your child who has nothing to do with what happened would be considered, generally speaking, as immoral. In this case of abortion, the child has nothing to do with them being born to begin with. It's not their fault, right? So to be considered immoral, at least based off my framework, right, to kill the child just because there was a condom failure, right? It's just not a good reason. Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me, by the way?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, where's Quintz, bro?
I don't know. He disappeared. Yeah, I think he fell
Did
asleep.
he say he's gonna? Okay, so Quintz, did you hear my argument? Oh, he doesn't even seem to be here. Guys, did he say in
I
chat that
think
he
he's
was gonna
just
go
having
away
like
for a
mic
sec or
issues or
something?
something. I think he's just having like mic issues or something.
Oh shit, my shit's tripping.
Okay.
You better not have to repeat that whole fucking argument again.
I don't have any issue with it. If anything, I'm
Did
gonna
my stuff
re-explain
stop
it in a
working?
better way because I was like unpleased with how I explained my arguments a while ago.
Did I like not get hurt?
No. But did
Oh,
you hear what I
what?
said a while ago before you gave your
I
argument
heard
that
that
no one
whole
heard?
thing. I heard that whole thing. I didn't know my shit cut out. All right, I was gonna respond to the first analogy you made with like the child and the father and the child and how the father walks out the child's life. Legally, I think that isn't really a good analogy, especially because legal wise, you can literally like put this nigga on child support and force
Red
that nigga
herring.
to like, help out. How's that a red herring?
Because we're not talking about legality here, we're talking about morality. Legality isn't necessarily intertwined or coextensive with morality. So simply talking from a legal standpoint does not in any way give any
I
justificated
mean,
way towards this being moral.
I mean, I'm just saying that just because it can be, it's more likely not morally wrong that a child doesn't have a father figure in most scenarios, especially when you can
I
put
don't
the
get how it's
dude.
not morally wrong. You're killing someone who has nothing to do with anything, who has never done anything to you. How is that not immoral?
Well, I mean, the baby does do something to the mother, right? You know that like having birth and like carrying a baby around for 9 months does
Yes, and that
things.
isn't the baby's fault. That's because the mother engaged in a sexual activity which caused the baby to exist, which then causes this to exist. Right? It's like
That's
a
all
matter of
right.
this. It's like a
That's
matter of
wrong,
this, right? So,
but that's wrong because when the baby's growing and kicking at the fucking mother's stomach and doing all the other stuff, which also
yeah, and
causes
how do you think the baby even had the
that
ability
is
to
the
do
baby's
such?
fault. That's like saying that if I get killed by a fucking knife, it's the knife's fault, not the person that killed me. Like what?
Okay, I
That
don't
doesn't
think
make
you
sense.
understand my arguments here. I'm saying to you that whether the baby is causing pain towards the mother during the exit of the womb, right? That does not in any way mean that the baby, or it doesn't in any way give any reasons why we should kill the baby here, because the mother was the reason as to why this baby existed to begin with. In every single birth activity, right, the baby is gonna cause pain towards the mother. That's normal, right? This does not prove that you should kill the freaking baby, right? The mother was the one who gave birth to the baby to begin with. They are the reason, or they're the cause for this to happen. This is a natural process. You're basically trying to keep, and I can even like investigate deeper into morality and say to you that, listen, do you like value do you value, like, for example, me or you as a moral agent because we're able to like make more considerations?
Did I cut out again? Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, you
I,
cut
I,
out. You cut out.
all right. I responded to your question. I said yes. So what are you trying to get at with this?
Okay, so value moral agents. Now, the fact that babies are a prerequisite for moral agents to exist, because babies shares a high potentiality at least, when it comes to being a moral agent. Without a baby, well, without babies, we can't have a human being, right? We can't have someone like me or you, because we go through the process of being a baby to then be a moral agent. Now, you're gonna say to me that someone killing a baby is permissible despite the fact that the baby shares moral utility,
Well, you said what
or
about
has
moral
moral utility,
utility?
I should say.
Oh, you cut out. That's okay. That makes sense. I thought you were
Oh,
done.
I was saying to you, listen, I was saying to you that if you did not hear my points, right? I was simply saying to you a while ago that considering the fact that babies are potential moral agents, meaning that without them we can't be actualized as a moral agent, because we have to go through the stage of being a baby to then in the future make moral considerations and judgments, right? Then how exactly can you just simply allow the killing of babies just like that? Like, how can you just simply allow it? Hello? Can you hear me, by the way? So no one can hear me.
You're fine. He just keeps cutting out.
Oh, okay, bro.
Stage and this and that, right? But at the same time, we have to take into other considerations that there's things like
Dude, you cut out.
overpopulation.
Wait, dude, you cut out, and then you just like entered back like mid sentence. You might want to restart.
Bro, what? Hold
Yeah,
on.
you
No, now
cut.
I gotta try to remember what I'm saying, bro. Let me. What's the last thing y'all heard?
He like literally finished his point, and then you cut out. We didn't hear like anything.
Bro, what? Okay. Let me think. All right. So first, I said that I'm not allowing the killing under any circumstance. The only circumstances, the only circumstances I'm allowing is circumstances to where the mother may have a disease to where that can be genetically passed down, situation to where the mother was raped, and situations to where that baby may lead to the death of the mother at a higher rate than it should. I'm not gonna just say death in totality because then you could just counter that by saying, well, anything we can do can cause death. So it's like, as if it's at a higher rate, then I would allow it. But under circumstances to
Well,
where everything's
mothers
healthy and normal,
dying
and you have
mothers dying due to like birth is a rare like it's a rare activity. So like, and either way, it's not okay. Even if you're gonna say that the baby is the cause or whatever of this, right? It's mainly due to the fact that like the what do they call it again? What do they call them again? The women who usually assist mothers while giving birth. It's usually their fault as to why they die, as well as other reasons. Like for example, the mother may have like some inherent like disease or something which caused him to die in birth because he just could not handle the pressure of it. But either way, right? Even though it's partially the baby's fault, it's not usually entirely the baby's fault. And even if you look at it from a more universal perspective, it's not something which happens a lot, right? So simply saying that again, your reason kind of apart when you're basing it strictly on the basis that um they try to protect or prevent any form of impregnation, yes, still it still occurred somehow. It does not in any way justify that we should kill the baby, because guess what, right? The baby not only bears some moral value, and this moral value being that they're potential moral agents, but also that they, as persons who engage in the sexual activity, should take responsibility because they're the cause of the baby existing. You can't just like throw away a baby. You can't just like no, I wouldn't say throw away a baby, but just like, end the baby's life, and the baby has nothing to do with like them existing to begin with. Like it's just unfair, right? It's like this, right? It's like kind of like, I don't know how to say. Like it's like, for example, carrying someone to some place, right? Oh, Current is back in the server. What's up, bro? But yeah, it's like somehow transporting someone, right? And halfway before reaching the location, you just like suddenly kick them out of your car. Like it's just a bitch move. It's just unfair. I don't see how that's like immoral. I don't see how that's morally permissible.
Oh my god, no, my shit is either your shit's tripping or my shit's still tripping because you just cut out again.
Oh
I don't know
man,
if
it's
you
Oh,
hear
I
me.
just cut out like the last part. The
Quince.
last
It's
part I cut
no
out, but
Quince. It's
I'm
definitely
pretty sure the
Quince.
majority of what I said, the person people in the VC heard what I was saying.
Yeah, Quince. It's you, man. I'm sorry. You
This
keep
shit is
cutting out,
so
man.
fast, bro. I'm finna just disconnect from this Wi-Fi. Give me a second. Okay, I shouldn't cut out nearly as much now, especially because I'm not on that ass hotel
I
internet.
did actually, because wait, let me just say something to this person. The reason why I did is because both of them involves a process, right? And the process being that in the abortion states, right, or in the abortion situation, right, you basically like you're basically helping the baby, or when the baby is a fetus, it's in the stage of development, right? It's in a state of progression, which would be the same with the car analogy, right? You're transporting someone, and then you suddenly just hinder their progression or their movement towards said location that they're traveling towards. It's kind of a similar situation, right? It's not exactly the same. It's kind of far from knowledge, but they share the same concept, right? But either way, Quincy, can give your arguments.
All right, so there is a problem I have with like this like potential moral agency solution, like fucking like kill the fetus. I feel like that can tie back to like just the dudes alone. You know, like how niggas jack off and shit. Niggas produce sperm. Sperm also has the
Dead
potential.
nigga, mute yourself.
Who is
Yo,
that?
guys, can you like untime me out before you do anything, please? Can you guys untime me
What the
out,
fuck?
please?
Just say your argument, Quince.
All right, yeah. So I'm
Untime
saying,
me out, please.
I'm just saying that moral agency thing can just tie back to like sperm and dudes. Like we have 13, like and there's teenagers in general who just jack the fuck off and let like 8 times a fucking day. Should we just like not let them fucking jack off anymore because their sperm also has like the potential of being a
Well, the
moral agent?
sperm doesn't. Okay, so the reason as to why that does not work is because in the sperm case, right, the moral agency is not necessary. Even if it's a thing, it's very, very minuscule, like really minuscule in comparison to a fetus, which has a maximally higher chance of being actualized as a moral agent, right? And you would have to put into perspective the intentionality behind them jerking off, right? It's not for the sake of creating a moral agent; it's for the sake of pleasure, right? So intentionality as well as a discrepancy in the degree of moral agency between these two things is what makes your analogy falls out the window, I should say.
I mean, the intentionality can also like tie back to sex. Like people will have sex for pleasure, and then why would they
Well,
like?
that would have worked. That would have totally debunked my point if I didn't add on the other reason in conjunction with that.
I forgot. All right, what's the other reason again? I'm gonna repeat that.
The other reason is the discrepancy in moral agency, meaning that one has significantly higher moral agency, or not. I wouldn't even say moral agency because neither of them can make any moral judgments. But in terms of potentiality of being a moral agent, right? It's just so the difference between both of them is so huge, right? Because when you jerk off, right, these sperms they are potential moral agents. However, it's very the potentiality of them being a moral agent is very minuscule, like really, really minuscule in comparison to when you have a fetus, and when we know there's a fetus in the mother's belly, we know that most definitely, right, 99% certain that this baby would, or this fetus will end up turning out to be a moral agent, right? Unless there's some rare mental disease which prevents them from making any moral decisions in the future, right? So there's a huge difference in the potential that either of these beings being moral agents. So it's pretty much being consistent and not necessarily unfair, but kind of inequitable to even compare these two things. Like it's just totally far off. Like, so you'd have to use the next argument.
All right. So I think, for what? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds real quick. I'll respond to that argument.
Okay, bro.
All right. So, in response to the moral agency
That's
thing,
good.
you told me how sperm has way less moral agency than a fetus. I would somewhat disagree. I think that they're relatively similar because we still have to take into consideration that sperm is used to fertilize the egg, and then the egg itself also
Yeah,
basically
even though okay, listen. This
feeds
is
the
really
fetus.
a really bad argument. I know what you're gonna say. And who keeps on timing out this output? You know what? I'm gonna time out that bitch later, or untime out that bitch later. Either way, right? As I was gonna say to you, the reason as to why that doesn't work is because even though sperm is a stipulation for the existence of a fetus, right? It does not in any way mean that they bear the same moral status or moral utility or moral value. Because on the basis of that, or going by your own logic, you'd have to concede that fetus bears the same moral value as us, right? Which would then just like totally defeat the argument.
Wait, you said I would have to concede that a fetus would have the same moral agency as us.
Yeah, because you're saying that sperm cells and fetus shares relative moral agency because without a sperm cell, a fetus can't exist. I'm saying that going on the basis of your logical reasoning, you'd have to also concede that fetus shares the same moral value as both me and you and normal and people who can speak, people who can like make moral decisions and so on the basis of the fact that the fetus is also a stipulation for there to be us or for there to be moral agents, right? Stipulation meaning that this thing is a necessary
Okay,
condition for
okay,
our
I
system to exist.
understand, but I'm not saying that like they're relative. I'm saying that it's higher than what you think. I'm saying that it's more of like
You don't even know specifically. Hold on there a second. You verbatim said, right, and I'm pretty sure everyone in this VC heard you, right? I heard you said word for word that it's like lower than you think. They have a relative moral agency, and that's where I interjected and give my response. But
not
even if
learning
you want to switch up your
relative.
claim, which I'm not saying you're being dishonest, by the way, but I'm saying even if you want to switch up your claim and say that it's higher, it's lower or it's higher than what I think, right? You don't know specifically what I think. I've not even given you any um quantitative value as to the degree of moral agency I ascribe to sperm cells, and neither can we even do such. So you can't necessarily say it's higher than what I think. What we simply have to like attack here, what you simply have to attack here, is whether, bro, what the fuck are these pictures, bro? But what we simply have to
Bro,
attack
what the
here,
fuck? Why is he holding?
right?
What the?
Okay. So what we simply have to,
Whoa,
what you
hold
simply
on,
have to
bro.
attack here.
What? Hold on. We gotta stop for 2 seconds. We can't just go past that picture, bro. What the fuck? Why do you got a dick on it? What the fuck?
Look at that black
Whoa.
ass too, bro. What the,
That shit can
bro?
penetrate me any day.
But let me just like finish up my
How the
argument before I
fuck did
forget
that
this
thing
shit.
walk with that?
Cause I'm like laughing too much. But like, I was gonna say to you that what you simply have to attack here, right, is you'd have to prove why sperm cell shares a similar moral agency to fetus, unless you'd have to just like drop the point.
I can just drop that point. I don't really care. I'll always trying to fucking. I don't even know. Okay, let me think. So, we got a fetus with some moral agency close to humans, then, or the potential.
Mm. Tell me when you think of the other points you have, and then we can just go over those. Okay.
If I can't think of nothing, I don't even do abortion for real. If I can't think of nothing, I'll just concede. I don't really give a fuck. Just give me like 2 minutes. I'm finna think of something.
Okay, I'm getting a little bit impatient, bro.
All right, bro. I'm not gonna be able to think of shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll just concede.
Bro.
That was pretty good. That's one of my longer debates. I feel like with you.
You did pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. You did pretty well. Beat me though, but you did pretty well though. For someone who doesn't debate abortion.
All right, bro. I'll catch y'all. I gotta start getting ready to go eat.
Yeah, y'all can like end the recording, by the way.
What the fuck is this nigga Dak sending? This is disgusting.
Nice, beautiful.
It's my boy, like that's all he is, bro.